You wake up, but you already feel behind. You move, but nothing inside you is moving. You say you're fine. Your voice is lying. Most people speak defeat before they even take their first step and wonder why they feel stuck. Behind the morning fog isn't just fatigue, it's the silent weight of unresolved identity and direction. Like a runner sprinting in place, exhausted but not getting anywhere. Your mind follows your voice. So what have you been whispering into your mornings? Because the first words you speak shape the rest of your reality. This isn't just morning motivation, it's the blueprint for becoming who you are meant to be. That quiet moment before you check your phone, it's the only space where your thoughts belong solely to you. And what you do with it, that sets your entire emotional tone. One man groans, "I'm tired." Another whispers, "Let's go." By noon, they're worlds apart. Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, emphasized that definiteness of purpose, backed by belief, forms the core of personal power. Yet, belief doesn't arrive wrapped in clarity. It forms through repetition, through emotional congruence. When your inner language aligns with your outer goals, the law of attraction kicks in, not as magic, but as strategy. It's not the words alone, it's their emotional charge. That's the true power of intention. Hill wasn't offering abstract hope, he gave a manifestation formula, and it began with how you speak. Your voice is the architect of your day. Every I am becomes a foundation. Every I can't becomes a ceiling. The mind is like a tuning fork. If you start your morning humming low-frequency beliefs, don't be surprised when the day echoes back disappointment. But align your language with faith and will, and your energy changes. That's inner alignment. The click moment when the version of yourself you're becoming finally meets the words you're saying. We don't fail because of lack of effort. We fail because we drag yesterday's doubt into today's declarations. Saying "I'm not a morning person" is not just a statement, it's a seed, and seeds grow. That's why you must be careful what you affirm before the sun fully rises, before your to-do list screams, before your insecurities interrupt. That quiet hour is sacred. If you can claim even 10 seconds of truth, 10 seconds of "I am here, I am focused, I am able," then you're no longer behind. You're ahead, internally, where it counts. Feel and believe. That's the law. But it's not passive belief. It's spoken, practiced belief, declared even before it feels true. Because the power isn't in waiting for confidence, it's in the act of calling it forth. So tomorrow morning, as you blink into the new day, ask yourself this: what identity are you breathing into your body with each word? Are you repeating the past, or are you creating a new rhythm? Because your voice has always been the silent saboteur. But maybe it can become your greatest ally. If this reflection met you where you are, don't hold it in. Leave a whisper of your truth below, or just let your breath say it for you. Mindset Mastery Hub. It may seem like semantics, just words. But Napoleon Hill reminded us that thought charged with emotion becomes belief, and belief spoken and lived becomes reality. That's the missing link most people overlook. They visualize without vocalizing. They wish without declaring. Your internal dialogue is your manifestation engine. The law of attraction is not about attracting what you want, it's about attracting what you are. And what you are is what you consistently say you are. This is not abstract, it's a practical formula. Feel and believe, think and speak, declare and act. Then repeat, not once, but daily, especially when no one is watching, especially when no one else believes. Because your subconscious listens closely in the silence, and the story you tell yourself before the world tells you who to be, that's your truest script. So tomorrow, or even right now, shift one phrase. Trade "I'm tired" for "I'm building." Shift "I don't know" into "I'm exploring." Shift "I can't" into "I'm learning how." Not for the world's sake, for yours. Let your voice be the signal, not the static. Because the world doesn't need another whisper of fear. It needs your clear sound of certainty. And that sound doesn't come from noise. It comes from a deep place of choice. The silent saboteur doesn't just disappear. You replace it with conscious, consistent, inner-aligned speech. Let that be your new morning ritual. If these words resonated, feel free to echo them below. Your story, your silence, your sentence. Mindset Mastery Hub. You're chasing your goals, but sabotaging them with your language. You call yourself lazy before even testing your limits. Maybe the real enemy isn't the world, it's the story you keep repeating. Most people aren't tired, they're tangled in inner conflict. They crave transformation, but keep narrating old scripts. I've always been like this, they say, not as fact, but as resignation. Napoleon Hill wrote that clarity of purpose requires clarity of identity. But how can you build a future when your present voice clings to your past self? This is where most people fall into the identity mismatch. You want success, but you affirm self-doubt. You visualize growth, but verbalize limitation. That's not alignment, that's friction, and friction burns. What you say becomes what you see. Self-talk is not a mirror, it's a mold. And every time you say, I'm not disciplined, I can't focus, or that's just who I am, you reinforce the exact self you're trying to outgrow. Think about this. A woman once believed she wasn't a morning person until she stopped repeating it. Within weeks, her 6 a.m. runs became ritual. Her old label, erased, by choice. That's the strategy. You don't need permission to reintroduce yourself to yourself. Here's the shift. 1. Identify your default self-talk loops. I always, I never. These are your internal programs. 2. Pause before repeating them. Insert one question. Is this serving my future identity? 3. Replace reflex with reframing. I'm learning to, instead of I'm not the type to. 4. Speak identity into action, not just goals. Say, I'm becoming the person who. 5. Align emotionally. Don't just say it, feel the becoming. That's emotional congruence. That's the law of attraction at work, not in theory, but in strategy. Napoleon Hill wasn't simply preaching motivation. He was designing a method of inner congruence. What you speak becomes what you are willing to become. Because you can't build a new reality with the blueprint of a broken self-image. The phrase, I've always been like this, is not a confession. It's a cage, and you hold the key. In his principle of faith and will, Hill explained that belief isn't a feeling, it's a decision backed by repetition. Every morning you call yourself disciplined, you create momentum. Every time you say, I'm learning to be present, you lay a new neural track. That's the real manifestation formula. And it works not because the universe obeys your words, but because your nervous system does. You align your actions with your affirmations. That's inner alignment. One man says, I'll try. Another says, I will. Their calendars look the same, but by month's end, only one shows up differently. This is what Napoleon Hill meant by thinking and growing rich. The riches weren't just money, they were identity, stability, power of intention. So here's a question. If your voice is creating who you are, why not become a better narrator? Try this exercise. Write down one limiting label you've carried. Rewrite it using a becoming identity. I'm learning to, or I'm practicing the habit of. Read it aloud every morning, even if it feels strange. Your identity isn't found, it's spoken into existence. Over time, with courage, with congruence. If this message struck a chord, whisper something new today, or share it here. Mindset Mastery Hub. This practice isn't magic, it's maintenance. The kind that keeps you from falling back into scripts that no longer serve you. It's where manifestation becomes measurable, when identity stops being a wish and starts becoming a daily ritual. Because you can visualize all you want, but if you continue to speak against yourself, no law of attraction will override that contradiction. So what if, instead of waiting for confidence, you spoke with commitment? What if, instead of repeating, I'm lost, you whispered, I'm learning to listen inward? This is how the shift happens. Not with thunder, but with tiny words said consistently. That's how you break the identity mismatch. And that's how you create the future. Not just by wanting it, but by speaking as someone ready to meet it. Mindset Mastery Hub. Speak it, own it, live into it. You don't have to wait until you feel different to sound different. Often, it's the sound that starts the shift. So let today be the beginning of a better script. One where you don't just talk about change, you talk yourself into becoming it. That's how you shift your identity. That's how you lead your life, with language that leads you forward. What if your life listens most when you speak with least doubt? You've been waiting to feel strong. What if the feeling follows the act? You don't need perfect words, you need true ones. We often mistake emotion as the prerequisite for action, but action is often the door to emotion. And your voice, yes, your literal self-talk, is the first key that unlocks either clarity or chaos. Napoleon Hill said, faith is the head chemist of the mind. But he didn't mean faith as belief in the unseen. He meant belief declared so strongly that the unseen begins to form around it. Clarity doesn't precede movement. Movement creates clarity. The law of attraction isn't activated by passive desire. It aligns with declaration backed by action. Power doesn't emerge when you feel ready. Power is the result of decision, and decisions are formed and reinforced by the words we consistently say. I'm not sure I can do this, may be honest, but it's not helpful. A better truth is, I'm not sure, but I'm willing. That's emotional congruence. That's manifestation in motion. A man once stood in front of his bathroom mirror saying, I am disciplined. For weeks, it felt like a lie, until it didn't, until the words shaped a version of himself he had only imagined. That's how the voice works. It fuels the fire. Not all at once, but daily, drop by drop, it erodes the old and fortifies the new. Want to change your trajectory? Change your vocabulary. Try this. 1. Speak your intentions aloud every morning. Not perfectly, but honestly. 2. Align them with how you want to feel, not just what you want to achieve. 3. Refuse to speak from your pain. Speak from your possibility. 4. Let your voice practice power, even before your mind believes it. Because the gap between who you are and who you're becoming is often just a few words wide. Napoleon Hill's greatest insight wasn't just mindset. It was the law of vibration, triggered by identity, spoken into reality. The world won't wait for you to feel confident. Neither should you. Start with language. Then take the smallest action possible in alignment, because the most powerful declarations are the ones whispered before the emotional energy becomes direction. So tomorrow, don't just write goals. Speak them. Say, I'm becoming the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. Then live into it. One word, one step, one aligned moment at a time. If this reflection moved something in you, breathe it out below, or let your next sentence become your first shift. Because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you consistently affirm. The law of attraction, as Hill taught it, isn't about fantasy. It's about vibrational congruence, where who you are internally begins to match what you're asking for externally. That's when the universe doesn't just hear you, it moves with you. Too many people say they want abundance while muttering lack. They wish for clarity while declaring confusion. They seek growth while reciting failure. It doesn't work that way. Your voice is a signal tower. If you're emitting mixed signals, confident one moment, defeated the next, you confuse the process, and nothing consistent grows from confusion. This is why Hill's process emphasized definiteness of purpose, but also definiteness of declaration. Don't just write your desires, declare them out loud. I am learning to lead. I trust myself in pressure. I am ready to receive. These aren't just motivational phrases, they're alignment scripts, spoken early, repeated often. Let's talk alignment. Inner alignment isn't a buzzword. It's the moment your voice, vision, and values line up. It's when the phrase I believe is followed by I act, and then I persist. It's what makes manifestation formula work, because when you feel and believe something long enough, your nervous system learns to trust it, and action follows trust. One creator we worked with wrote, I am impact every morning. He didn't feel it at first, but a month later, his words had changed his posture, his energy, and even his opportunities. This is what it means to declare before you believe. And this is what power actually feels like, not volume, but alignment. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 mornings, before the world interrupts, speak 3 sentences aloud that reflect who you are becoming. Write them down, say them slowly, let them land in your body, and then notice not just what changes outside, but what strengthens within. If you felt that spark, leave a sentence here. One that scares you a little, one that sounds more true than anything you've whispered in weeks. Some mornings don't give you energy, you bring it. The world doesn't define your name, you write it. Maybe this is the day you finally sound like yourself. There's something sacred about the moment before the noise, before emails, before expectations. It's in that hush where you get to decide, who will I be today? Napoleon Hill taught that identity isn't discovered, it's declared, refined, and lived into. The law of attraction isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about aligning with the version of you who's ready, the version who already exists but needs your permission to speak. You see, most people wait for the world to confirm them. But what if confirmation begins with conversation, with yourself? Your words are a chisel. Like a sculptor chiseling stone, each morning phrase chips away what you are not, until what's left is truth. And that truth, it doesn't need everyone's agreement, just the mirror's. You don't need louder affirmations. You need quieter conviction. Not shouted mantras, but whispered decisions that echo louder than doubt. The power of intention, as Hill described, isn't in volume, it's in consistency. I am becomes stronger than I hope. I choose outweighs I wish. Identity isn't a trophy, it's a tone, a resonance, a quiet certainty. That's why this morning matters. Not because it's different, but because you can be. Declare before you're ready. Speak as if you already believe. And when your voice trembles, let it. That tremble is honest, and honesty is healing. Try this. Don't just say, I got this. Say, I am growing into this. Don't wait for proof. Speak as the proof, because when you speak truth, especially the kind that scares you, you free something. And what you free heals. You are not here to be defined. You're here to define. So if today begins with your voice, let it be the one that finally speaks truth. And if this space felt like home, even for a moment, then that's what we hold here at Mindset Mastery Hub. Your voice, your name, spoken into becoming. This isn't just about self-talk. It's about emotional congruence, the kind of alignment that turns your morning words into midday momentum. You don't need the world to agree. You need your nervous system to believe. That's what Hill pointed to when he spoke of faith and will. Not blind hope, but practiced trust. That kind of trust is what forms the backbone of any transformation. The problem isn't that people don't want to grow. It's that they keep speaking from wounds, not wisdom. And so they manifest what they're afraid of, not what they believe in. Inner alignment starts when you stop auditioning for acceptance and start affirming your own value. You want the law of attraction to work? Then stop talking yourself out of alignment. Stop speaking as if your past gets to write your future. It doesn't. What gets to write your future is what you're willing to declare, especially when no one is listening. That's the voice that matters, the one spoken in solitude. Before emails, before expectations, before the noise resumes, because who you are becoming isn't just about what you believe, it's about what you repeat, and repetition builds belief. So tomorrow, speak slowly, speak gently, speak truth. Try whispering, I am ready, even if it scares you, or say, I deserve alignment, even if a part of you still doubts, or even I attract what I am, because you do. And when you become someone worthy of peace, purpose, and clarity, you attract experiences that reflect exactly that. That's the real manifestation formula, not a wish, a way. And the more you say it, the more you see it. Let your mornings be where your soul speaks louder than fear. And if this journey has sparked something real in you, let that spark linger. Let it write your next sentence. Let it find space here. Because here, you're not alone in your becoming. Because choosing yourself isn't just a decision you make once. It's a vow you renew every day with your words, your breath, your presence. And if no one else hears it, it's okay. Because the person who most needs to hear your truth is you. Speak gently, speak again, speak forward, and let this be your space to return to.